So this time we're going to be able to put an actual hospital behind me because the last time some joker put a giant dinosaur trying to eat my head, and it just wasn't professional. Oh, we're on. Hi! Welcome to St. Elvis Hospital, where providing safe and effective health care is our #1 priority, right behind providing you affordable medical care at bargain basement prices. So today I'm very excited to talk to you about some of the newest additions that we have to our hospital here. So this is a controlled substance infusion pump. We purchased it off of eBay for about $50, so we went ahead and got 2 of them for you. So the nice thing about buying stuff off of eBay is that you have a pretty high guarantee that this was used in an actual hospital beforehand. So now we know it's been tested and field tested here before we go ahead and provide it to our patients here at St. Elvis. So the first question you might be asking yourself is why go ahead and use an infusion pump versus something really simple like a drip bag? And the short answer is sometimes you need to be able to provide very accurate dosages of very small quantities of medication to your patients here. And drip bags have a hard time doing that. So that's where having something that's motorized like this here is a more effective option. So the next question you might have, though, is why have a controlled substance infusion pump? I mean, why don't go ahead and just use these, regular standard infusion pumps for everything? And the short answer is kind of in the name there. It's the controlled substances. So sometimes you're going ahead and providing, pain medication to patients, for example, and you don't want to just go ahead and open this up here and just get in here and just squeeze it really hard in order to get a little bit more of that pain medication. So these pumps here have a nice, lock on the side here that you're able to go ahead and lock this so that the way the patient can't go ahead and open this up or actually change the treatment plan once it's going ahead and starting dispensing. So if a patient does want to be able to get a little bit more medication in order to help with their pain, these pumps do provide an option to go ahead and have a button here so that the patient can go ahead and press this. And inside the treatment plan that you enter into this device here, the number of times that they press this and the time period that they press these between here, it can limit how much drugs are actually get dispensed to the patient, which is really helpful too, so that you can make sure that they don't accidentally harm themselves by pressing that button too often there. So one question you might have if you're worried about providing affordable healthcare is do I have to go ahead and rekey all these devices that I purchased off of eBay so that way every single device in my hospital has the same key? And normally you'd want that there because if a patient is having a problem or this is malfunctioning, you want all your nursing staff to be able to quickly open this up and unlock it here in order to be able to try to remedy that problem. So the good news, at least with this particular brand, is that this key is actually the same in every single device all over the world. Basically, you don't have to rekey any of these devices. You buy it, if you have one of these keys, it'll just automatically work on that there. Now, some people might think that that's a problem, but in reality, how often, do people, plan to have one of these keys in their pocket there before they go ahead and get into a motorcycle accident. So in that case, it's just kind of like a trade-off of convenience and usability versus having to worry about a patient who's really serious about trying to get into one of these pumps here. So the next thing that I really kind of want to highlight in this pump here is it's a little hard to see, but I'll try to make it kind of visible. Yeah, there it is. Is that this has a barcode reader inside of it here. Right here. And so when you go ahead and load in a vial of medication in here, it will have a barcode as well. And that's really important because the drug treatment plans are programmed on these older devices here using the front panel button. So it could be very, it could plausible if you have a long shift or something like that, you accidentally hit the wrong button here and enter in the wrong treatment plan that's potentially unsafe for a patient. So these pumps here use that barcode scan there to compare it against the drug library that's stored inside these pumps. And this drug library is built out by the pharmacist to have basically minimum and maximum safe values for particular types of drugs for your standard patients. So these guardrails are kind of put in place, so if you go ahead and try to put something into a treatment plan that's outside those guardrails, it'll actually air out and not allow you to dispense that to the patient. And so that really kind of helps limit the medical error from causing patient harm, which is really important. So one question you might have, though, is, new drugs come out all the time. So how do you go ahead and update these pumps all over your hospital? So one option is you might actually have, a technician go through, and connect to all these pumps via, let's say, a serial interface with a little handheld computer and download these new drug libraries to these pumps. Well, that takes a lot of effort there. So another option is you just go ahead and connect these pumps to your hospital network. And now whenever these pumps are not in operation, you can download a new drug library treatment plan to that there, and be able to update these devices. So that has, good and, bad potential options here, because now you're going ahead and connecting this to your hospital network. So one potential, mitigation that we actually see in a lot of different medical devices is that I can't really show you without actually opening this device up, but there's actually two different computers inside this device here. So they try to limit the control plane and separate that out, from this network side from the computer that's actually driving the stepper motor in the front and dispensing the drugs to the patient. So that way, if something wonky happens with the control plane, it crashes or an issue occurs. If it's currently dispensing a treatment plan to a patient, it will actually continue to dispense that treatment plan and not be affected. That's the theory anyway. So that may be something that you might want to look at here. But that being said, probably the biggest thing that I would like to normally see in a medical device is if a problem occurs with this device, can we update this? Can we patch that? That would be really nice. So I'm going to end on that note, but I hope you're all having a good time. Welcome to Vegas, and enjoy DEF CON and the Biohacking Village Challenge. And as I said, we have 2 of these here for our patients, and hopefully you never have to use these, but they're sure a lot of fun to play with. You have a good day.